Well, hello again. Another video. This has been requested by quite a few people. Is how do I do my programs and including the train announcement system? Well, this is where we're going to show it. So what we're going to use, this one, which is my Lord Nelson. Now what I've actually done is, I'd got these coach lights which I'd bought from Layouts for You. I've now got 3 more which are now put into these Pullman coaches. Just got one little problem, is there's a light bleed through the roof, so I've just got to paint the inside of the roofs, but they're now in and fixed with no problems at all. So first of all, we've got the Railmaster. Now if I reduce this off this, and this is the train announcement system which I've showed you before on some of the videos before. And what we've got here is we've got the train to depart on platform 2, 11:45 to Pullman. It's from Brighton, or going to Brighton. This is going from London Victoria, and you're going to be calling at Gatwick and Haywards Heath. And it's got 3 coaches. First class is on the front, Buffy service and Mind the Gap. So what you do then, once you've set that bit up, all you do is to go to here.
The next train to depart on platform 2 will be the 11:45 Pullman service to Brighton, calling at Gatwick Airport, Haywards Heath and Brighton only. This train is formed of 3 coaches. First class accommodation is located at the front of the train. A buffet service is available on this train. Please mind the gap when boarding this train.
So you've done that. Now what you do then, this particular system I've got, which is the BR system as it's called, if you go to this record button here, press that, you then put in a particular file name, whichever we're going to call it. And then if you save it, then what happens is then it comes up with this. But what it does when you do it, when you put the file name in, it tells you exactly where it's sitting in the system.
Pullman service to Brighton, calling at Gatwick Airport, Haywards Heath and Brighton only. This train is formed of 3 coaches. First class accommodation is located at the front of the train. A buffet service is available on this train. Please mind the gap when boarding this train.
So that is that bit done as such. So what you do now is you go to here, where we're going to do it, and we're going to now do the program. So first of all, you click the tape recorder at the top, and it says anything you do from now on, it'll record it. So you do that, and you see a little red blot flashing there. We're now going to turn the train on. We'll now do a coal shovel. We'll reduce this down a bit here for now, and we're now going to play this.
The next train to depart on platform 2 will be the 11:45 Pullman service to Brighton, calling at Gatwick Airport, Haywards Heath and Brighton only. This train is formed of 3 coaches. First class accommodation is located at the front of the train. A buffet service is available on this train. Please mind the gap when boarding this train.
We now press the guard. We'll now press a whistle. And we're now started off on cruise. Now this particular train, the CB3 is set at 40. As you can see, it doesn't fly off, it gradually builds its way up to speed. And when it gets around to here, we will actually press the guard's whistle again. Sorry, the whistle. So that's that telling it's approaching the level crossing, which it's doing. We'll now put it on shunt. You can adjust these anyway, but to do that now, the front of that coach is going to have to sit there. You can adjust it afterwards, but this is what it is here, like this. And it's sitting at the edge of the platform there, and also the train itself is there just by the signal. Right? We now go to here and we turn the sound off. We now go to here and click that, and it says, would you like to see what you've just done? And we say yes. Now, as you can see there, 961 is the coal shovel, and then 5197, which is the guard. Now, between that part there is where we've just done the train announcement. So what we're going to do there is do this, click on that one we're going to, the last one to do. We click on the plus sign and it puts another line in. In here now, we're going to put in 11, like that. It's 11. We now go to this little box here and go for program command. We go to the next box, which is the instructions there, and we'll look now in here for one called play sound, which is there. And it brings this little thing up here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click on that, and you've got to find where this particular train is. What I've actually called it in the program is the pulley, which is that one there, like that one there. Call that one there and open it, and what it's done now, it's actually put in the actual program. And in here, on here, we'll call this tester. Right, we now click this and you see it now changed, so it's now got what it actually is. What we can do now is, if I actually just reduce that out of the way and click this one back up again, in here are all my programs. Look, loads and loads and loads and loads of them. Now, if you've got the normal Railmaster, oops, this is where you'll actually find it. But because as I've got Pro, I can put the programs by looking at the train. If I just do one for a station announcement, I've got the little speakers, so that's, I can actually just click that one there and it'll bring the train around, and I can run the train without running that manually, as you might call it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look for tester. There it is, tester, right? So what we're going to do now is we click this now. It's now put the sound on. It'll now do the coal shovel. There's the coal shovel button. And it's now doing the...
On platform 2 will be the 11:45 Pullman service to Brighton, calling at Gatwick Airport, Haywards Heath and Brighton only. This train is formed of 3 coaches. First class accommodation is located at the front of the train. A buffet service is available on this train. Please mind the gap when boarding this train.
Now we wait for the guard's whistle. There we are. And now do the whistle. And it'll now start off. Most of our locos like these, I put them on 40 for the CB3. I do lower the CB4, the deceleration, so I can actually work it. Now you'll just see when it gets around to the station, it should do the whistle. There's the whistle. It'll now slow down. This is where you adjust the timings. So just wait for it to come round. Also, always make sure your track is clean, because this will throw a program out. So just do this, wait for it to come round, see where it's going to stop. Now as you see, it hasn't stopped exactly where I want it. There. Now there you see the sound go off. There we are, the sound's gone off. So what you do then, from that, you actually go into here and go look for your tester, which is what we just called it. See, this is the problem doing it this way around. It's so hard to keep going down all these programs all the time. Let's go find the tester. There it is, tester. So there here, the stop is 108.45, and it isn't exactly where we want it. So we can actually change that like this to 110. It's just a matter of fiddling this now, such as like the play sound, which is there. Now, in fact, if we actually now put this one a little bit later, just a little bit there, and we now do this and say yes, we do that. It changes to white, so we just do that. Now, what you can do now is bring the train to where it should be on the track. It always makes sure the train starts exactly the same spot each time. What happens is it'll either have the train going too far one way or the other way. So if you went in here now again and go in for tester, which is that one there we just done, we now click it again. Let's do the coal shovel.
The next train to depart on platform 2 will be the 11:45 Pullman service to Brighton, calling at Gatwick Airport, Haywards Heath and Brighton only. This train is formed of 3 coaches. First class accommodation is located at the front of the train. A buffet service is available on this train. Please mind the gap when boarding this train.
You now hear the guard's whistle. See, you can reduce these down or increase the distance between one and another. It's just playing around with them. Sometimes it can take me 10 minutes or so, sometimes it was 2 or 3 hours to set them out. It's now going round. As I said before, by here it should do the whistle. There's the whistle. It'll now get round to here and slow down again. It's just a matter of setting the timings, that's all. Just by part of a second or another, add another second on or take a second off. Now we'll see where this one stops when it gets round here now. See, that's gone too far. So that is too much to work on. So it's just a matter of doing that and setting the times. I've actually, as I said, I've got these on here, and what you do, how we get them onto the Pro, if you go to your, there, go for your map, which is there, and what they actually are, if you go down here, this one of course is the Pullman one, so if you click on there, in here you actually find your program which you're going to call it, which is the Pullman there, and in here you just run these sliders across like this. You can put numbers in, which I've got in. If you actually look there, that's a particular train announcement, that's another one there. You can actually have what you want in it, doesn't make much odds. And all you do there is you run along here, and there you can put a level crossing in, you put a signal in, shunting signal, which I've actually got in, and there's your train. And that is how you actually fit them in, like that. So what we've got now is, if I actually now come out of there, because I don't want that, so that's where the Pullman one is. This is the one that I've programmed, not the tester one. This is the one that I've programmed, and this one here is, if I click on this one and do this one, it is the Princess. Now this has got one of the Alsound speakers in it, which I get from Steve at the Hobby Goblin, but you can actually get them from West Hill Wagonworks. They are Alsound speakers, and these are 8 ohm, but they are the TTS ones. And this is going to go round. This is the only short program I've done for this particular one. Should do a whistle. They're brilliant speakers, them are. They're £8, just over £8. That's all they are. The size of a Pico rubber. A bit smaller than that, but that's about the size you're looking at. This will now come round here. It might work where it's supposed to do, but see, it hasn't done it this time. I've got to drag the train round here a bit here, just bring it round here again. But that is how you do them. Right, now this is going to turn off in a second. There you are. So I've now done the one for the Pullman, and I've done the one for the Princess. But what I've actually done also, I've shown you, I've got videos on this here, but in here there's a schedule. And what I've done is you run the first train, and what you do is once you start it, this clock which I was showing you a minute, it'll change to another time. So you do that and click out what the time is going to be. You then add a little bit more and then put the extra time in and put the Princess in. Now one thing, as I said before, if you do this, because what happens is that, as it would have been, it's 11 o'clock, these two would have kicked off on their own. So what you can do now is I can click that and save them. Now what I go to here is if I go to this one here and I put in 10, 50, 9, 55. Now it'll count off. And at 11 o'clock that first train should go. Yeah. As you see, and what it does is once it's finished its program, you write that down and add about another few seconds on to make the second one work.
The next train to depart on platform 2 will be the 11:45 Pullman service to Brighton, calling at Gatwick Airport, Haywood Heath and Brighton only. This train is formed of 3 coaches. First class accommodation is located at the front of the train. A buffet service is available on this train. Please mind the gap when boarding this train.
So that's doing that now, and it's going to be running round and doing its little thing. So this is the program we just run. This is now in schedule. There's the first whistle. What I've actually done, I've changed the whistle on the second run. So this will do a fancy whistle now. There we are. I think you should slow down after this one now. There we are, it's slowing down. Sometimes they work okay, sometimes they have a funny on them and they just don't stop where you want to stop them. But you say you can do a train announcement on its own, and you can also do this way around. Now see, that has worked perfect. Now as you see, it is now 11:02:05. I think it's about 10 when this car kicks off. Well, it's now doing the second one. You can put any amount of locos like this, so you can just press that, change the time on it to start the first one off, and it'll do all these programs all on their own. You can just sit there and watch them. You don't have to control nothing. now going to do this particular one now. We'll do a whistle. We'll go around and do the slow and stop. It'll most probably stop somewhere here again. Just needs adjusting in. But it depends on the cleanliness of your track. If it's a bit dirty, then you won't get a response. But also, if you've got sound trains, see how it's stopped there. I know that it works somewhere else, but that's how it works. That's going to stop in a minute. And it's done. Now all I've got to do now with that is click on the centre there, and it'll actually put it back to the correct time. I need to go back into here and take them 2 ticks out, because if I've got this system running tomorrow before 11 o'clock and I go downstairs, this thing will kick off on its own. Now, as a quick little update, as you know, I've done this JMRI. I've been doing it on the last few videos. I use the Sprog. Now the Sprog will take about 2.5 amps. So this particular layout is running at about 0.8 of an amp with all these locos on. I think there's 30 locos sitting on here, and also these 2 trains running as well. So it's quite capable of doing it. So you can actually run the Sprog to run your railway as well. As I said before, the only trouble with the Sprog is that you've got to manually control your trains, whereas on Railmaster you just click shunt all the crews and your trains are running. Now what I've actually also just done, I'll just bring it down here a minute, I've now put it on my mobile. So I just click this now. Now that what you just done it the other way around, anyway, I just have to, it might work, I don't know, because it's got to be connected to the Sprog. They are. So what you get is all the trains themselves, like this. I've got all of them on there, because it's only reading these because it's not connected up. But you find your train, you click on it, and then what you do then is you click that there. These are all your functions. Of course, if you put names in, they'll come up with the names on. And you've got idle, forward, reverse. So if I actually go to forward there, you'll see the little arrow come up, what should do. And then all you do then is use the speed on, slide it like this to run your trains, bring them down. If you bring it up like that, if you actually go to idle, like that, it'll actually operate it that way around, and stop will actually do it as well. Of course, it's not controlling nothing, so it's not working. But the only trouble is this, you can only run 1 train at a time. So what you've got to do there is go to select, you've got to find another loco, such as the 4, call it 4F, like that. You then go to the you've got it there. We now go to this here, and what you've got to do, it'll say set, and you've got to set it. So it's very awkward to do it. It was just I like gadgets, so I've got that. It actually works downstairs. The only trouble up here, I haven't got virtually any Wi-Fi. I've got Virgin Media, and the Wi-Fi is totally rubbish. I've got power adapters to link stuff up. So this thing here is connected underneath there with a power adapter. So I've got a bit of a Wi-Fi, which is what we've got there. So anyway, if anybody wants me at any time, I'm on 01782 302194. I'm here 7 days a week, basically. But basically, if you actually ring me after lunch, because sometimes I might go up to the railway shop or go shopping, I'm always back by lunch, so we can always do that. I'm here, anything to do with Railmaster or any problems with locos, which I've just had a lady up in Scotland, I've dealt and sorted hers out. So please give me a call, and my email address is there, and please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.